Mogert. Oh gosh.
Part 1 to part 2, here we go. We're just hopping right in. He's barely even moved. Let's get into this. This will be my month 14 experience in the computer animation degree program from Feazel University for the class Character Modeling Foundations. Now, it used to be called CDC or something like that, but now it's CMF, Character Modeling Foundations. I don't know what CDC, maybe Character Design Concept? I don't really know. I don't know what it meant, but now it's Character Modeling Foundations or Fundamentals. I think it's Fundamentals. Character Modeling Fundamentals. So this is my month 14 experience for that class from Feazel University. Could be your month 12, could be your month 16. Kind of all depends on your prerequisites. I had 2 done out of the 4. That's why it's my month 14. I say it every month, but just in case this is your first month with me, welcome. I welcome you to my little video here. Welcome home. Let's talk about this class. Let's figure out everything about it, and let me just warn you, week fee? What the heck is that? Week 4, fit hit the shan. So let's work our way up to that and figure out what the heck went wrong. So let's go. Oh goodness. Okay, so we're gonna start off with some class information, then we're gonna talk about the assignments, the teacher, some tips, and in short, just like we always do, you guys know the drill, so let's get into this. Literally, this isn't an unboxing video. Why am I saying that? Okay, so let's go. Class information. For starters, guys, we are learning a brand new software. We're learning ZBrush. Now, I don't know about you, I've never worked in ZBrush before, but it's super easy to pick up, super quick, friggin' awesome. I got my laptop right here, just in case you guys are like, why are you looking at your lap? Does your lap have all the answers? No, my lap does not have all the answers, but my laptop does. In this month, you have 14 assignments. Sounds like a lot. Kinda is. This is a pretty heavy month in terms of the workload. Don't wait till the last second. Your lectures, 2 to 3 lectures a week. What I would recommend, unless you send your professor a critique, I would recommend just watching the archive lectures, because those seem to go more in depth and there's less of them, so you're not wasting so much time watching the current month's lectures. I would watch the archive ones. That's just me, because I realized that I wasted about 4 hours or so watching the current month, when the first 30 minutes to an hour he's just sitting there talking to the class there, whether or not that's a critique or answering questions. Now, sometimes those are good to be part of, but if you're looking for the straight information just to get right into your assignments, I would watch the archives. All of your homework, always due Mondays, even in the last week. So my month 14 spilt into the first day of month 15 because it was due on Monday still. That's good, and that's not an April 1st joke. Dang, I meant April Fool's. That's not an April Fool's joke. And deliverables. Deliverables is something that we haven't really worked with. Like, we've compiled our stuff into folders before to send it off, but this is more of a bit more professional. You're given a Photoshop file and you throw all your stuff in there and make it look nice, and then you deliver it like that. Even though all of your folders in the like week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4, even though those have multiple assignments in them, for the most part you're gonna compile them all into one folder at the end, submit it. So that's pretty much it for the class information. So let's talk about the assignments. Let's learn how fit hit the shan and go from there. Week 1. Week 1 is where we are obviously learning about ZBrush, learning how to do stuff, learning tools, learning brushes, learning a lot of things. So what did we do? Weeks 1 and 2 have similar assignments in that they're there just so you can learn more. All of the weeks have participation grades. They're all like 1%. Sometimes you post them to a discussion board, sometimes you just upload them with your deliverables. But let's just go ahead and break this down real quick, week by week, and yeah, a lot of information. Let's go. Week 1, what'd you do? Well, the first assignment is more of our participation grade, just to learn the tools, and you're building a cactus in 3 different styles. You build one in Maya, you build one in ZBrush with Z spheres, and then you build one in ZBrush with Dynamesh. Not Z Dynamesh, but just Dynamesh. You're gonna learn which one you like the most when you're building that. I found out I like Dynamesh an awful lot. Z spheres I'm okay with, but I like Dynamesh an awful lot. Maya, I don't like to build organic things in Maya, and I'm not a fan of that. Hard surface stuff, I'm okay with. Organic stuff, I would much rather prefer ZBrush. So that was a participation grade. Now you're gonna do a first read. A first read, you're taking your character, because we are character modeling, and in this week, you have to model the blockouts for 4 characters. They give you a folder of characters that you can choose from. At least 2 of them have to be from their folder, 2 of them can be yours. So you're gonna have 4 characters total. You're gonna pick one of them, probably the one you wanna go furthest with for your first read. Now, first read, you're taking your character and you're simply just kinda going into Photoshop using the pen tool, blocking out shapes, like silhouette defining shapes. And that's pretty much it. Now, I did it wrong first time. I used the brush tool and he was like, hey, if we see you using the brush tool, automatic fail. So I was like, dang it. So 11 o'clock at night, I was using the pen tool to take my character and make a first read block out. Your other participation grade, you're building a torso. ZBrush, you can use Z-Spheres, Z-Dynamesh. Just Dynamesh, not Z-Dynamesh. Pretty easy. It should take you like an hour to 2, but it's participation grade. You don't have to go full on out. Get a basic understanding. They're still gonna grade you. It's a participation grade. If it takes you 30 minutes and it looks all right, go ahead and upload it. But that brings us to the main assignment of week 1. That is the blockouts. You're doing 4 blockouts of 4 different characters. One has to be done in Maya, one has to be done Z-Spheres, one has to be done in Dynamesh, and then one you get to choose whichever one is your favorite. And your favorite one you can combine. You can do Z-Spheres to start and then Dynamesh it, but the other ones, they have to be solely their own thing. The good thing is though, like, I hate organic modeling in Maya. I am not a fan of it. But the good thing is that 2 of these models are for completion. 2 of them they will grade more in depth and you get to choose which 2. So I chose my Maya model, this one, and my Z-Sphere model, this one, to be my completion ones. So I didn't spend a whole lot of time on them. I got them done, and then I spent more time on my Dynamesh models because I had the Dynamesh model, and then the one I chose I did Dynamesh because I like Dynamesh. That's that. Yeah, you're gonna have 4 models, 2 for completion, 2 for further in-depth grading. And then you compile all that for a deliverable, send it off, and that's your week 1. So week 1 took me 34 hours and 50 minutes. Now it's not gonna take anywhere near as long. That's because I messed up on my first read so much. Files crashed, stuff like that. And even in ZBrush, files were crashing. So save iterations and you'll be fine. But I spent an awful lot longer on this week than I should have. I would say your week 1 should probably take you around 25 to 30 hours instead of my almost 35 hours. Week 2, what'd you do? Let's find out. You did a second read, so it's a whole lot like your first read, same format and everything, probably same character. This time you're gonna do almost like a wireframe on them. You wanna be able to hide your character while having your wireframe and still kind of get the feel for what the shapes are. So it's pretty much a second read. It's pretty easy. That one they're gonna grade, so that's not a participation. But then a participation grade, a head build. You're gonna build a head. Now my head looks a little goofy, and that's because I based it off my own head. I took a front side view of my head, brought it into ZBrush, and boom, out came that, and I'm a little goofy looking, so we're gonna go with that. It doesn't look exactly like me. That's because I was rushing it just to get it done, because it is participation grade. As long as you have a head, it'll be good. Another participation grade was a cloth study. You had to follow some videos along how to do this. You're making this cloth look dynamic and cool and stuff like that. You're gonna texture it, put an alpha channel on it, stuff like that. It's fairly easy if you follow along with the video. Save it. It's gonna crash. Crashed on me anyway. Shoot, there's a lot of crashing this week, or this month, I should say. Let's bring you into the main part of this week, and that is your secondaries. This is my secondaries. Basically, they want to see advancement every week. So you're gonna do, in week 1 you did 4 models. This week you're dropping 2 of them, probably the 2 that you did for completion. It's up to you, but I took the 2 that I did a further grade on in week 1 and I brought them in for their secondaries. So you're adding like base levels of clothing. They do want to see you push your anatomy. I didn't get to do that because I was rushing this week. You're doing secondaries. I didn't really get to advance on my anatomy much. I mostly had time to do secondaries and add a little bit of face structuring. Not really full on detail yet, but face structuring. That's pretty much how this week ended. So in week 2 I spent 19 hours 6 minutes. Big difference from week 1, probably closer to what week 1 should have been. Okay, we're gonna hop into week 3. Week 3, he mentioned it in the like the first week, but I had forgotten about it, so it kind of took me off my game a little bit. You're going from 2 models to 1 model. Finally you get to focus on one. Great. This is the one you're going to take to the very end, but I forgot that he said we have to make props for it. My character didn't have props, so I had to design a helmet and a shield. They look friggin' awesome. I was like, oh shoot, I gotta design a helmet and a shield, dang it, because my character was meant more for fighting and stuff like that, so I was like, he wouldn't look good holding a broom or anything like that, so we'll make him a helmet and a shield. I think it worked out pretty well, but anyway, you're gonna do a prop breakdown. You're gonna take your prop, find other props that look something like it, and you're gonna compare them and contrast them, see, oh, this is the kind of horn I want for my helmet. I'll I'll use that as a reference. This is the kind of guard I want for my helmet. We'll use that as a reference. It's a prop breakdown. Pretty easy. And then you're gonna do an arm build. This is another participation, and because it's participation and I was running so short on time this week, I didn't put much time into it. I still got a 100. It looks terrible. It does not look like an arm, or at least a good arm, but I got 100, so don't sweat it if your arm looks like this. You're gonna be fine. But then that brings you into your two big parts for this week. That's your props and your refinement. So your refinement, you basically want to get your model done this week. My model, pretty cool, I think. I really like it. And then my props, the shield and the helmet on the model, they just look great. But you turn them in deliverables separately, so there's that. Hop into week 4 real quick. Now this is where the fit hit the shan. And I hate to keep using that reference because this is the class out of all the months that I will be here at Full Sail. This class, character modeling, was probably in my top 3 that I couldn't wait to take because I wanted to model characters forever and then I want to animate them and stuff like that. Oh, but everything went wrong in the last 15 minutes. So I'm gonna build you up a little bit. Let's build some suspense. Oh yeah, week 3, 26 hours, 7 minutes, just so you know. Okay, so let's talk about week 4. Get the participation grade out of the way. You build a leg, that's that. I spent 30 minutes on this. I said, I have so little time. I'm gonna build a leg, set my clock for 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, I'm turning it off and we're submitting it. That's what I did. Here's that. I don't have my grade for week 4 yet, so hair breakdown. You're finding, well, you have to build hair this week. Even if your character doesn't have hair, they're gonna give you a bust and you build hair on that. And that's what I did since my character doesn't have hair. I built some hair on this bust. That's how I use Captain America as a reference. So your hair breakdown, your reference is broken down, like how's the hair flow and stuff like that. So then you're gonna build the hair on either your character or the bust. That's that. You're gonna resurface the head of your character. So you're gonna cut off the head of your character, bring it into Maya, and resurface it so it's lower topology and it's better for the production pipeline, basically. There's that, and then you're gonna lay out the UVs, which takes like 5 minutes. Even for a complex head, you'll be fine. You have to bake a normal map onto your low resolution head from your high resolution so that your low resolution has the same amount of detail as your high resolution, but it's much better in terms of topology. That took me a while. I posted to the Full Sail modeling page or whatever, asked for help. A minute later, someone commented, help me out. A minute after that, my model had a normal map. Awesome sauce. And then you're gonna follow about an hour-long video, which after you follow along, you're pausing it and stuff, ends up being closer to 4 hours for me anyway. But it's gonna show you how to model a human ear in Maya, and that's what I hated. I hate organic modeling in Maya. It's not fun. To me, that's not what Maya is meant for. Just the way I use Maya, I don't like it. I know people organically model in Maya, and I get that that's a thing, and I get it. It's really helpful to know how to do, but I just prefer ZBrush, and then I'll Z-remesh it, or I'll decimate the topology and stuff like that. But then you had to make an either Artstation or Blogger blog or something like that account and post 3 pictures of your final character. Maybe not final character, but either like work in progress or troubleshooting or just stuff. 3 pictures, screenshots, or whatever about your final character that you're working with. I made Artstation, so the link will be in the description if you guys want to check out my character in depth and close, whatever, or just keep tabs on me, see what else I'm doing. And honestly, it seems like, wow, this is a lighter week because you're not really making any progression on your model should be done. But this is where I felt so unmotivated because I'm like, I have to build an ear that I'm not gonna use, I have to build hair that I'm not gonna use, I have to build a leg that I'm not gonna use, do a normal map for a head that I'm not gonna use because it's not attached to a body. This week felt very unmotivating to me. Week 3, I was killing it. I was like, heck yeah, this is awesome. I love the progression I made in week 3. Week 4, I'm like, why am I working on all this extra junk? It's not helping my model at all. So that was a bit annoying, but at 11:45, that's when everything started going downhill. Let's talk about that. So I was putting my deliverables this time into a Maya file where you're gonna compile all your stuff. And I saved all my stuff out as OBJs, and I'm bringing it all in, and your poly count has to be at max 4 million. So in ZBrush, I decimated my objects, brought topology down. Stuff was saying like 85,000 topology. My full character was saying 2 million topology. My shield and helmet, they were saying like 100,000 topology each. So I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna break 4. Probably won't even break 3. I put it all in there. It's at like 5 million. I was like, what the heck? I took my numbers, I decimated stuff right. And then I brought my character in, right? Like I looked at him and he has a massive hole in his leg. And I was like, oh shoot. And then my normal map on my low res head wasn't working. I was like, oh my goodness, everything is going terrible right now. And then I knew my ear wasn't great because I had hardly pushed it past what the video said. I worked on it for about 30 minutes or so after the video ended, but it doesn't look different enough from the video. Time ran out so quickly, and it was just a terrible last 15 minutes. And the second 12 o'clock hit, because uploading that massive file took at least 3 minutes to FSO, and I have 150 megabyte whatever internet. Still took 3 minutes or so, and it was just such a terrible experience. I cried afterwards. I did the math, and on my teacher's most generous grading day, I feel like I'm probably gonna get a 65 or so on this week, which is heartbreaking, honestly, because my model looked great in ZBrush. All of my topology was great in ZBrush. I brought everything in and it all broke. As I've been saying, the fit hit the shan. Everything was ruined. So there's that. So what I'm trying to say with this story is that get your stuff done so that you at least have one day for deliverables. In case this nonsense happens, you can at least figure it out. Because I started putting my deliverables together at 11 p.m. because I was working up until 11. I said, okay, work's done, let's start doing it. And then everything was going wrong. So I'm gonna be lucky if I get a 65 in week 4, and if I get a 65, I will still have a 90 in the class, but a 90 is nowhere near what I wanted when I'm currently at a 97 in the class. So honestly, it's heartbreaking. This was one of my most anticipated classes, and I severely dropped the ball in week 4. That hurts. I am gonna be extremely surprised if he's lenient enough and say, you might have had 5 million topology, but you got a lot of complicated assets. I'm gonna be extremely surprised if he says that. If I can end this class with a 90 now, I'm gonna be over the moon, because I don't deserve it given the week I had in week 4. Shoot, I'm just extremely disappointed with myself. But that was my week 4, and I spent 25 hours 36 minutes in week 4, making for a total for the month 105 hours and 39 minutes. So real quick, we'll talk about the teacher with some tips and in short, and we'll get out of here. Okay, so the teacher, he's a pretty fun guy. You can tell he loves what he does, but he can also get pretty serious. But in terms of fun, he's like, Marvelous Monday. On Mondays, wear your Marvel shirts. On Wednesdays, it's Vest Wednesday, wear a vest and stuff like that. He's pretty fun. He's extremely helpful though. Email him early in the week and he will give you a critique on whatever and say, hey, maybe adjust some of that for delivery or submission, stuff like that. So he's extremely helpful. He will help you. I emailed him at 12:30 at night. He emailed me back at 12:35. But he's an awesome teacher. Definitely didn't deserve to receive that work I gave him for week 4. I will learn more, and I'm going into character rigging now. Let's move into some tips. Ask for critiques. That's what he really likes. Get your work done ASAP, because you never know when things are going to crash or break or just not work. Save iterations, because your stuff will crash, like I've said many times. Save your iterations. That way if something crashes, you can go back 15 minutes, make up 15 minutes of work, and you're fine. And use a tablet. ZBrush is not meant for a mouse or a trackpad or anything like that. It's definitely meant for a tablet. So those are my tips. Now, and in short, what can you expect? You can expect ZBrush modeling and Maya modeling, both organic. You can expect 14 assignments this month. You can expect about 6 hours worth of lecture per week. You can expect all your homework to be due on Mondays at midnight. You can expect to compile your stuff at the end of each week and deliver it as one for the most part. You can expect a lot of participation grades. You can expect a lot of anatomy. You can expect to model 4 blockouts in week 1. You can expect to take 2 of those models in week 2 and add secondary base structures. Week 3, you will further refine your final character. In week 4, just a whole bunch of hair stuff, ear building stuff, stuff that didn't apply to my character. You can also expect to build them 2 props. You can expect a fun teacher, probably expect some crashing to happen. Whether or not it's minor or major, there will be crashing. And you can expect around 100 hours of work for the entire month. So that is it, guys. Not gonna lie, this is probably the lowest I've felt at Full Sail so far, solely because of all that junk that happened. I guess my question for you guys this month, what is the worst technical issue you guys have had at Full Sail so far? Mine was week 4 last night. Oh shoot, that was the worst thing ever. I am lucky to get a 60%. What's your guys' worst technical issue? let me know, comments below. I'm now going into character rigging. This has been part 2 of my month 14. Part 3 will be like a shorter video, how did things intertwine and stuff like that. But that's it for this one, guys. So if you would please like, comment, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. See you guys later.